Hey, I'm Chef Tiffany Derry, and we are in Bobby's Triple Threat Kitchen. And normally it's a whole lot of craziness going on, but today it's cool, calm, and collected, and we're just cooking, so let's cook. I wanna show you one of my favorite dishes growing up, fried green tomatoes. Granted, it's a little more fancy than what I had. Before, mine was just like fried green tomatoes and a little dipping sauce. That's what my mom would make, we would enjoy it. But this is my spin. One of the things we're gonna do is called a Ravigote sauce. A Ravigote sauce is mayonnaise-based, but it's used for seafood. We have mayonnaise, some red bell peppers, a little bit of green bell peppers, some celery, a little bit of tarragon, mustard. So this one is Dijon mustard, Creole mustard, or whole grain mustard. Oftentimes I use two mustards. Capers. Come on, who doesn't like a salty caper in something? And then some parsley because we really need that freshness again. And then a little garlic. It's a little bit of cayenne to spice it up. A little bit of lemon juice. Mix it all up. So what you're left with is like this beautiful sauce. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. I have jumbo lump crab meat. You can also do it with shrimp. You can do it with a chicken salad. All of this would go great with a ravigote. Now let's make our charred corn relish. So we need to char a little corn, add a little radish pico. This is where we get a little fancy and we have some fun. And you'll hear them almost like popcorn, right? Like they're starting to pop a little bit, they're blistering, they're charring, they're adding in that element of flavor, and that's what we're doing. We're building flavor. Look at that baby right there. That's what's happening. That's the magic. Okay, so what we need to do is get our corn off the cob. Then what we're gonna do is add on a little bit more flavor by adding a little bit of chili peppers. And here my key ingredient is radish, so red radishes. We're gonna add a little bit of cilantro because we are doing a radish pico de gallo. A little lime. And my key here to getting more flavor is not only using the lime juice, but also using the lime zest. Mix it all up, add a bit of salt, pepper, and I always add a little olive oil to kind of round out that lime juice, right? Sometimes it can be really, really strong, but just a little bit of olive oil will do the trick. Now it's time for the green tomatoes. You see how thick I'm cutting that? That's important. If you cut them small and thin, they end up overcooking. So I'm gonna put a little bit of seasoning on it, salt and pepper. I always season my tomatoes along with the seasoning that we do in the flour mixture. I have a little bit of Creole seasoning, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Mix it all up. Let's get to dredging. We're gonna double dredge, only in the flour. So we're gonna go flour first. We're gonna get all of that flour all over the tomato, shake it off, and we're gonna put it in straight up buttermilk. All fat buttermilk, all the flavor. Now I'm gonna go back into my flour. And the reason that we're doing this is so that we can really create kind of those crackles that you get in a great fried item. I am getting my oil up to temperature. My tomatoes are done, and we're gonna make one more sauce. This is what ties it all together. Let's make our remoulade sauce. It has horseradish. So we're gonna add our horseradish into our mayo, and this is prepared horseradish. Gives it like a little spice with some anger. A little bit of our Creole seasoning with a little cayenne, some whole grain mustard, add some ketchup, and it turns it red. Lemon juice, some vinegar, parsley, and a little smoked chili. Now let's mix it all up. Oh yeah. And that is a classic remoulade. All right, let's fry some green tomatoes. We will flip it, but as you can see, the oil is still kind of slightly covering most, and that's okay. Even if you did a little bit of shallow frying, some people feel a little more comfortable with shallow frying, and then you flip it over and you cook the other side. You'll see it's starting to get golden brown, and it's frying rather nicely. All right, this is some crispy fried green tomatoes. I think it's time to take it on out. I am going to drain it, and I'm gonna sprinkle with a little bit of salt. Okay, let's plate. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that remoulade sauce. I'm gonna make some designs on my plate however I feel like doing for that day. My green tomatoes, crab ravigote, and we're just gonna lay that across. And if you're like me, you need more crab, so we're gonna put a little bit more. We're gonna top it off with our radish and corn pico. And we're gonna let that kind of fall as it may. That's gonna give it some brightness on the plate and some crunch. And then I am gonna take a little bit of some micros. I also do it with celery leaves if you have that. So what you're left with is fried green tomatoes, crab ravigote, and a corn and radish bigote gallo. Enjoy.